Do Democrats equal more taxes than Republicans? According to the attached survey, a majority of individuals polled believe that Democrats advocate higher taxes than Republicans. This opinion is based on having little knowledge of historical tax increases and decreases. This research delves into the beginnings of democracy in the United States, where the two political parties stood in the beginning and now, along with tax increases and decreases throughout the history. Why do we have a two-party system? Two political parties occur as a result of general elections. Even though there aren't any restrictions as to how many candidates can be placed on the ballot, general elections promote coalitions. These coalitions are political factions formed from one or more groups that share common beliefs and ignore or disregard their differences to avoid vote splitting. There are times when a third party has emerged, such as when the Republican Party supplanted the Whigs back in the 19th century. In the United States, the two-party system started to prevent the Federalist Party from getting too much control. The Democratic Party was originally founded by Thomas Jefferson in 1792 in opposition to the Federalist Party. Alexander Hamilton had founded the Federalist Party in 1787, desiring a new government that would keep the nation unified. In his mind, he felt that the nation should be run by the rich, which he felt that they were the most able to run a new country. The Federalist Party members consisted of bankers, industrialists, and landowners. Thomas Jefferson felt that the common man could make the much-needed decisions regarding the Bill of Rights and formed the Democratic Party. It was in 1798 when the name Democratic Republican Party was permanently affixed to the party, and Jefferson served as the first president of the Democratic Republican Party, president in 1800. In 1844, the name was shortened simplified to the Democratic Party. Today, the ideology of the Democratic Party is social liberalism and progressivism. The party's focus is on civil liberties, social freedoms, equal rights, and affirmative action and government regulation of large business. The Republican Party was founded in 1854, whereas Abraham Lincoln served as the first Republican Party president in 1861. According to Wikipedia, the party was first formed to combat slavery and promote modernization. When Theodore Roosevelt became president, he promoted progressivism. During the 1920s, the Republican Party became more pro-business. Today, the Republican Party ideology is conservatism, neo and social conservatism, and economic libertarianism. Taxation and presidents seem to be the biggest subjects up for debate. Direct taxation on income was started during the Civil War as a method to fund that war. That tax was allowed to expire in 1872. When income tax was reintroduced in 1913, it was directed at the rich or at the wealthy as a means to equalize social injustice between the rich and the poor. There have been a total of 19 federal tax cuts since World War II, according to the Federal Tax Foundation. There is a consensus of opinion, though, that there were 3 major tax reductions in American history. Warren Harding, a Republican, started a reduction of the federal income tax during the 1920s, which was continued by his successor, Calvin Coolidge, another Republican. Actually, Andrew Mellon, Treasury Secretary at the time, was the major proponent of the tax cuts. John F. Kennedy, a Democrat, reduced tax rates from 91% to 70% in 1964. In 1981, Ronald Reagan, a Republican, reduced the top income tax bracket from 70% to 50%, then again in 86 from 50% to 28%. After the tax cuts of the 20s, Andrew Mellon approached the House Ways and Means Committee and requested that a tax increase requested a tax increase due to deficit spending and the effects of the Great Depression on the income taxes. President Herbert Hoover, a Republican, approved the tax increase and signed an increase into effect that affected the brackets from 25% to 63%. President Franklin Roosevelt, a Democrat, continued the trend by increasing taxes to the top incomes up to 79%. Another Democrat that increased taxes was Bill Clinton all the way up to 38.6% from his predecessor, Ronald Reagan. The opinion that Democratic presidents mean higher taxes than Republican presidents is based on having poor historical fiscal knowledge of the United States needs at the time of each tax change. After reviewing the history of each party and the tax increases and decreases throughout history, it can be concluded that the presidential party plays a small role in the taxes, but the economy at the onset of the presidential term does influence whether taxes will increase and decrease. Any questions?
Yeah. Do the people around the president have more influence on tax policies than the president himself?
I believe so, that the president really is just a figurehead when it comes to tax decisions.
Are the Democrats or the Republicans more influenced by the people around them?
I believe they're both equally influenced. Is that it? Thank you.